Enke Eloheinu, Enke Adonenu, Enke Malkeinu, Enke Moshe.
This week's Parashat is Va'era. We're into the very exciting story of the Exodus, of course, and we have the confrontation between Moses and Pharaoh. There are a number of confrontations going on in our story, and you can almost picture it. You can see Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston, the confrontation that those two actors put together, and of course, what's always in the background? You always hear the voice of God. I don't know who did the voice of God in the movie, but you can check that out. So you have the voice of God, you have Moses, you have Pharaoh. So there's multiple confrontations going on here. There is God who's instructing Moses what to say to Pharaoh. There's Pharaoh who refuses to listen to Moses, and he refuses to listen because he says, I'm God. Whoever your God is not God in Egypt. I'm God. You don't tell me what I do here. So it's a confrontation between Pharaoh and God, and a confrontation between Pharaoh and the people of Israel and Moses. Now, we know the song, Let My People Go. What was Moses instructed to tell Pharaoh to do? The instruction was, go and say, let my people go. So we're a little bit surprised in this week's Torah reading when we hear the following. Say to him, God says to Moses, say to Pharaoh, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, sent me to you to say, let my people go that they may worship me in the wilderness. Let my people go that they may worship me in the wilderness? Is that the deal? Moses is going to take the people out for a few days to go worship God. Why did they have to worship in the wilderness? Because you don't worship another God in Egypt, because Pharaoh is God in Egypt. Isn't it to let my people go, to take them out of slavery and bring them to freedom? Isn't it to leave Egypt and go to the land of Israel? Yet he says to him, we're just going to go and worship. Why does God offer this instruction as opposed to a direct confrontation? Let my people go. They're leaving. They're not coming back. And what we see here is that God's doing a very interesting thing. He's saying to Pharaoh, I understand you've got a problem. You got a country to run. You're Pharaoh, you're president for life, prime minister for life. You have a very strong position, you need to protect it. If I tell you let my people go, meaning they're just going to leave, I know you're not going to listen, because it will destroy your authority in your country. So my goal is to get the people of Israel out. Your goal is to maintain your dignity and your authority. I'm willing to compromise. You will say that you were letting us go into the wilderness to worship God. And then we just won't come back. And you'll be able to make an excuse. It won't look as bad as if you simply let us go. Of course, we know Pharaoh doesn't listen, but why did God offer him this deal? Why did Moses offer this deal? Because he understood that in the initial negotiation, give Pharaoh a chance. If you demand too much from him, if you demand that he humiliate himself, if you demand that he give up his superiority, his role of superiority leadership in Egypt, he's going to say no. So be reasonable. Give him something and ask for what you want in return, and give him something to save face. Saving face is absolutely critical in Middle East negotiations, whether it be in the times of Moses and Pharaoh, or whether it be today in our modern period. So what we learn from this is God was willing. If he knew Pharaoh wouldn't listen, he knew Pharaoh's character. And he tells Moses, don't worry, he's not going to listen. But at least he wants to show the world, and show Egypt, and show Moses, we're going to give him a chance. He can do the reasonable and right thing and still protect his power and his authority. That would be what a good leader would do, a compromise. But alas, Pharaoh, of course, did not compromise, and the story will continue with the 10 plagues, and the excitement would lead eventually, of course, to the people of Israel leaving Egypt, and the final confrontation at the Red Sea, which will take place in a few weeks from now. So we wish you a Shabbat Shalom as you think about this incredible story, the formative story of the Jewish people, the exodus from slavery in Egypt, and the return to sovereignty in the land of Israel. Shabbat Shalom.